Thank you guys so much for joining us today on today's training session where we are going to be going through the new 2019 SEO formula for contractors and remodelers. My name is Bob Vance and I'm the founder of Home Remodeler SEO, and my goal is to make sure that you stay on the cutting edge with your SEO efforts, which, as you know, Google is always moving the needle on what your SEO strategies need to be concentrated on. And so I'm here to help you put your best foot forward when it comes to ranking for the most important keywords in your market, whether that be contractor-related keywords, home remodeling companies, new construction and custom home building, roofing and gutters, and many other home improvement service-related professions. This training today is part of our 2019 Internet Marketing Plan series. So at the beginning of the year, we laid the foundation in terms of your overall marketing plan and strategy. What's the big picture? What are your goals? How do we break that down? And then what do you need to do to really make that a reality and see the company growth that you're looking to achieve? The first thing to cover is our online digital dominance blueprint that we've covered in previous trainings. This covers everything from getting your website set up and making sure that it's mobile responsive, making sure it's built to convert, as well as how to optimize for the search engines and everything in between. Throughout this year, we've been going deeper on each of these 7 or 8 key areas for really dominating your online marketplace and generating as many leads as possible for your business. So this training session is going to be focused on the SEO component of your digital marketing strategy. I'll show you how to rank organically and how to build your authority and credibility so that you can get ranked organically in Google and increase the number of calls coming into your home improvement or remodeling business. And since I've got you here, I'm just going to ask you to give this your undivided attention. Turn off your cell phone, turn off Facebook, close out the extra tabs on your browser. If you're really serious about getting better results from your online marketing efforts and how to maximize your SEO potential, the best thing you can do right now is to focus on learning as much as you can on SEO. I also want to make this training interactive, so I'll be asking for feedback and interaction throughout the training. You could just add your comments into the comments box, and that way we can make this an interactive conversation and learning experience where I can answer some of your questions. Here's what I want to cover today. I'm going to talk about the latest changes with the Google algorithm. As you know, Google is constantly moving the needle and changing things up. So we're going to talk about some of the latest changes and how they might impact you. Also, the things that you might have put in place in the past are things that are now that could be hurting your rankings. As I look at remodeling and home improvement contractors across the country, there are a couple obvious things that were put in place years ago because it used to work, but they don't really work anymore and could even be hurting your digital presence. So I'm going to be looking at that in depth to make sure that you are aware that you are probably harming your business, or maybe a previous marketing company used some questionable tactics. So hopefully I can help you build and fix that so that you can rank where you need to and start getting the lion's share of the phone calls from the internet. And then we'll really jump into how to optimize your website for 2019 using the new SEO formula. Before we can really talk about the new SEO formula, we need to first understand how the Google algorithm is changing, how the search results are changing, and then ask ourselves, does SEO even matter anymore? Is it even important, considering there are now Google local service ads at the top of the search result pages, as well as pay-per-click advertising taking up more and more space, So is SEO even relevant anymore? And is it even worth thinking about or working on your SEO strategies? So for an example, if you're going to search, let's just type in Denver roofer. The fact is Google is moving more towards page search. If you look at it on a mobile phone, you almost have to scroll a couple times to even get down to the organic results. The question that you're probably asking yourself and others are thinking is, should we even invest energy in SEO? I've talked about this previously in our other trainings, but there are so-called gurus out there that say, don't even bother with SEO, focus on paid search, focus on Google local service ads. And that's enough at the end of the day. Personally, that really got me thinking. So I pulled dozens and dozens of client campaigns from all the contractors that we work with at some level. We can access their analytics, we can access their call tracking. And so I was able to run some numbers. I really felt a need to revisit some of my assumptions because at the end of the day, we're still a full service digital marketing agency. We do SEO as well as website design, but we also do pay-per-click, social media, reputation management, really the whole gamut of services. But a big piece of it is SEO. It's even in our company name, in fact. So I wanted to revisit previous assumptions on what works best in digital marketing and see if this is still what we should be focusing on as our core strategy. What I found that is even today in 2019, when someone runs a keyword search, 71% of the clicks are still going to the map listings, and they're still going to the organic listings. And then digging deeper, 67% of the clicks go to the first 5 listings. So that is the top of the 3-pack. And then the 2 organic listings directly below that, which is 67% of all searches. So the fact is, yes, SEO still matters. Yes, things have changed. Yes, you should be playing in the pay-per-click game. Yes, you should be diversifying your marketing strategy, but you cannot sleep on search engine optimization. That's still where the lion's share of your customers are looking and wind up clicking. I posted a couple questions here in the lead up to this training session asking you, how much of your business comes from the internet? How much of it comes from SEO? And there were a number of people saying, look, most of our business comes from SEO without a doubt. And so I'm just going to ask this and kind of put this out to you before we dive in. When you run a search for a provider, let's say someone cuts your grass or someone to come clean your house or someone to do a plumbing repair for you, do you tend to click on the paid listings at the very top? Or do you still kind of scroll down even in your mobile phone devices and get to the organic listings, or potentially click on the map listings where you've got all the reviews next to the listings showcase? So let's see what everyone has to say in the comments box. So just looking in the comments, we've got a few people on with us. So Theodore says he always clicks on the maps listings because of the reviews. Okay, so there you go. Score 1 for the SEO team. Paul says he clicks on the organic listings. Great. So let's see more comments here. I want to try to keep this interactive, so kind of humor me here and play along with me. Colleen says she clicks on anything but the ads. That sounds like me, Colleen. Daniel says he clicks on the maps. Mario clicks on the organic listings. Franklin clicks on the maps. So glad to see you guys commenting. Thank you very much for your participation. Organic, organic. I click on the organic. This is what most people are saying. It matches what I found. I looked at our data. I looked at a huge number of reports. This is also what I've heard from other agency owners. We can see that statistically here, based on all the people on the call, the vast majority say they go to the organic listings as well as clicking on maps listings. So my point is, don't sleep on trying to rank organically. There are still plenty of people clicking on the organic, non-paid listings. These are calls that you don't want to be missing out on. So let's talk about some of the changes that have happened in the Google AdWords algorithm and in the way that SEO strategies have shifted over the years that you need to be aware of. Like I said earlier, there are a lot of things that worked in the past that people put into place that are actually totally contrary to what Google is telling you to do today. And more than that, they're actually bringing your website and rankings down. The first issue is you really can't get away with duplicate content anymore. When we look at the SEO strategies for remodeling companies, contractors, and really all home improvement service related companies, you want to make sure you have pages for all your services, as well as pages for the cities that you serve, typically like 10 city pages and 15 or 20 service pages to match all of those cities. In order to do that, what we found was that most people kind of just grabbed content that they found out on the internet about bathroom remodeling or roofing repairs, basically content that is not your own content, and then they just put it on your website and just add in their city. Another method related to your city pages is where you create one good city page. Let's say you have a Denver page, but then you also want to rank in the surrounding suburbs of Denver. So you created an Aurora page, a Broomfield page, a Highlands Ranch page, a Centennial page, and so on. So basically, you're just duplicating one page over and over, adding in different title and meta tags for that particular city, but yet the entire page of content is still the same. And so for a long time, that was a good play, and that worked really well in Google's young algorithm. But you really can't get away with that anymore. Now, that is highly frowned upon by Google. And as a matter of fact, we have seen companies that are struggling with their search results, and that's a big reason why. So these companies are investing big in SEO. They've invested time and effort into having these pages created, and they've invested in authority development for these pages via backlinks. And a lot of times, it's the duplicate content that's bringing down their ability to rank. And so what really needs to be done in that case is just to go back and delete the pages that are unnecessary. A lot of times, SEO companies get so granular with their keyword targeting, they want to put hundreds of pages on a website that never really get indexed by Google, and that never really even serves a purpose. And so the first thing to do is weed out the pages, and then the second phase is if it's a relevant keyword that you're targeting, you need to make sure that content is unique. You really want to have professional content writers handling this for you so that you're getting well-written and unique content for all of your services. You're getting unique content for all the cities that you service, and now you're kind of back in the game with Google. So what I want to encourage you to do is to look at your website, look at the pages that you have on your website, and identify if you're using the same content across the site, and if so, that's something that you need to address right away. The second big thing that has changed is that a lot of folks that have bad links pointed back to their website that could really be hurting you in Google's eyes. There was a time when it was just about the links and how many you had. The well-known mantra for SEO going back to even the early 2000s, and this lasted for several years, but the mantra was, he who has the most backlinks wins. So you can literally get links from anywhere, links from international sites, links from what we call PBN networks, which are private blog networks, links from all these irrelevant websites back to your website, back to your home page, back to your city pages, and back to your service pages. That used to work back in the day, but as Google started to clean things up and they started to really prevent people from trying to game the system, they started looking at those irrelevant links as a negative influence and a negative ranking factor. So what you need to do here is to look at your link profile. There are many great tools out there like Ahrefs and Majestic SEO. And in these online tools, you can put in your website URL and it will spit out a list of all the links that you have. And if you do have a lot of links, and especially if you are ranking well, If you've got links that are from websites that have nothing to do with your local area, and nothing really but garbage sites with worthless content, what you find is that it was just a blog with content that was made specifically just to link back to your site. Well, this is always going to be problematic for your ability to rank. The somewhat easy solution is to contact the webmaster of those various sites and have the links removed. Google Webmaster Tools also has an entire process for getting your links disavowed. But I don't want to go too technical on everyone, but it's something that you should know, or at least have someone that's paying attention to this on your behalf. Trust me, I've seen this with big brands and big companies that have great, well-known brands, a lot of authority and credibility in their markets, but yet they couldn't rank for their target keywords and couldn't figure out why. This is something that everyone needs to be aware of, especially if you've worked with various marketing companies over the years with dubious SEO skills. And the third big change is related to Google Maps optimization, and that is you really need to have a true physical address for your remodeling or home service related business. Back in the day, you could just set up a P.O. box at a UPS store and claim that as an address, so you could get in Google Maps in that city near you. But those days are kind of behind us now. Google has really gotten wise to those tricks. Google wants their 3-pack maps results to serve real businesses that have real locations, that have real reviews, and that a customer could potentially visit. A real office location, in other words. And so you really need to be thinking about whether you are a true company with a true physical address in the city that you are trying to target. Because if you are not, you are really just throwing bad money at your SEO, because this sort of tactic is not going to pass muster with Google. So if you have a current SEO provider that's telling you, oh, you don't have to have a real office, you kind of just work from your cell phone, covering a 100-mile radius or whatever, hey, that's cool, don't worry, we'll just create a P.O. box for you, and we'll claim the address and get you ranked. And what you find is that you're never ranking. And in fact, you won't, because this marketing company is deceiving you and giving you bad info. Maybe they're willing to take a chance that they can make this happen for you. But if you don't have a real address in the city that you are trying to rank for, right now, it's very difficult, if not impossible, to rank in the Google Maps section for that city. There are enough legitimate remodeling companies, builders, and general contractors, roofers, and all kinds of home service companies in every city across America that have a real address, that have a commercial facility that somebody could visit, that are competing to rank on the maps just like you. And there's only 3 listings on that first page of Google Maps. So if you don't have a real address in a real office, it's really just not going to happen for you. So at that point, you have to decide that you're not going to be able to play the maps game in those cities and just accept that you're going to have to rank organically. And believe me, you will get phone calls from your organic rankings. We've seen many campaigns where a keyword is not ranking in maps, but it is ranking in organic. And we've been able to track calls to those specific keywords. So trust me, folks, people still click on organic results, and they still want to click through to your website to learn more about your company. So these are the 3 big changes that you need to be aware of that are probably preventing you from ranking organically that you may or may not realize. So hopefully I've been able to shed some light on things that you really need to pay close attention to. So I've kind of talked about these changes in a broad sense, but I want to go a little deeper in talking about each of these factors that affect your search rankings. Again, it has to be unique content. Don't duplicate content on your site. Either delete the pages or rewrite unique content for the pages that you already have. The other thing I saw a lot of people doing that I hadn't talked about yet from this duplicate content perspective is that people are setting up little microsites let's say you're Frank's Remodeling. So you have the URL franksremodeling.com and you optimize around the Denver area. A lot of other SEO folks will tell you to set up more microsites like frankskitchenremodeling.com and franksbathremodeling.com and franksrenovations.com. And they make all these little microsites for you that they thought were going to rank because of a keyword-rich domain, and they had some content added in with good keyword focus. Two things that you should be aware of. When you do that, you're actually diluting the authority of your main site, franksremodeling.com, and in most cases, the guys that build these microsites are trying to really come up with shortcuts, so they inevitably end up duplicating your content from microsite to microsite. In some cases, as we scan our new client site, when they come to us from another marketing company, we'll find that they have a good website, good authority, good backlink profile, etc. But as we search the internet and find that there are all these microsites that they have, and they all typically have duplicate content. So you want to look for that, because sometimes deleting those websites is really the best way to go, or at least totally rewriting the content can really fix that problem. So just some things to really pay close attention to as it relates to the duplicate content issue. So let's talk about having irrelevant, low-quality links pointed back to your website. That was the Penguin algorithm. Remember, it used to be all about links, quantity over quality. What I want you to consider doing, and this is something that our team can do for you, is we'll run a backlink analysis. And with that analysis, we can see your domain, and you can see all the links that have pointed back to your website over the years that have been built for you. Some of the things that we look for are irrelevant links that are kind of obvious that they have nothing to do with the services that you provide. We want to be looking at the quality of those links, the quality of those websites, because if it's just a garbage link, it's not helping your website build any authority, and in fact, it could actually be harming your website and harming your ability to rank. But then you also want to look at the anchor text used in those backlinks, because a lot of times what SEO companies do is they use the same anchor text across all the links that they've built for you. And even if they were good quality links from quality sources, if all of your anchor text is almost identical, then that's actually a huge negative ranking factor. So what we do is we do a deep dive into your backlink profile and help you identify if there's a link problem. Is it a duplicate content problem? Is it an anchor text distribution problem? Even if you're doing this on your own, again, there are great tools like Ahrefs and Majestic SEO that can help you with this. Okay, so not to beat a dead horse on this physical address thing, but the bottom line is that you need a physical address, and it needs to be in the city that you want to rank for. Even if you're right outside the city that you want to rank for, or even if you have all your city pages optimized in the maps listing and all your citations in place, unless there's a very limited competition for that other city, there's really not a whole lot that you can do to rank in the maps for that city. The whole idea of Google Maps is to rank brick and mortar businesses in the cities that they're located in, period. It's hard enough to rank where you have a location in the city that you operate in, let alone outside your city's location. But again, you can always make the choice to get a physical office in the city that you want to rank for, set up the office, set up staffing, be able to greet your customers when they come visit you, and basically realize that this is a long-term investment for your company. But also know that it's going to take time to build the authority, to build the citations, to build the SEO foundation in order to rank in that main city. Let me know if anyone has any questions on these three major changes that have really impacted the Google algorithm and search results positioning. I'm trying to focus on the 80%, 20% principle here. the 20% of things I'm seeing that have 80% of the impact on rankings. These three are the key issues to be aware of, and we can help solve those three for you. And if you do, you're going to resolve 80% of the issues presenting you from ranking well. What else has changed in the world of SEO? Old-fashioned SEO as we know it is no longer effective. The things that used to be important, like getting your focus keyword in the title, getting your keywords in the H tags, getting your keywords 7 or 8 times into the page content, getting a bunch of backlinks, buying PBNs, and linking back to your website. That stuff is no longer effective in the post-Panda, Pigeon, and Penguin world of Google algorithm updates. Now, it's really about user experience and optimization for conversions. The new SEO approach definitely requires a heavy focus on the user experience, or UX as it's known. Nowadays, Google is not only looking at what websites are optimized and what their backlink profiles are, but their algorithm is also looking at what the consumer is doing once they click on that keyword and go to a website. And believe me, they are tracking millions of keywords and tens of millions of clicks on a daily basis. They are really paying attention to, for instance, when someone types in Denver roofer, and when they click through to your website, are they staying on your website or bouncing right back into the search results as if your website didn't deliver what they were looking for? Are they spending more time on your website? And are they scrolling down? Are they getting a great user experience? And believe it or not, Google's search engine is that sophisticated. So make sure you are putting a heavy focus on thinking about that user experience. So what are the new ranking factors? Here are the things that you need to be paying attention to in 2019 and going forward into the future. Click-through rate is extremely important. That means for every time you come up in a search result, what percentage of the time is your listing being clicked on versus the other listings? There are some things that you can do to really improve your click-through rate. For instance, making your title tag a little better by making your meta description read more like text found on Google Ads rather than just a blurb loaded with keywords. When you write that effectively and you also have a great reputation in your local market, your click-through rate is going to be higher. Scroll rate is a big thing that Google is looking at, which is when somebody gets to your pages, they get to your website, are they just clicking back into the search results, or do they stay and scroll through your website? Are they reading content and then scrolling down? Google's looking at that. If they are going to get to your page and click on your result and then scroll down, then they are getting the information that they probably wanted. That's what Google wants more than anything else. That's what we have to remember when we think about SEO, and that is Google wants the consumer to find what they're looking for, plain and simple. At the end of the day, they know they can continue to give the consumer what they are looking for, like a good quality remodeling company, a good quality roofing company, etc. The answer to whatever question is that they typed in, if they are finding what they want, they're going to keep going to Google. And if they keep going to Google, then Google can sell more ads. And if they can sell more ads, they can continue to dominate the world of search on the internet. The very basic objective in Google's entire business, outside of making money, is to make sure that the results that their search engine gives are results that solve problems and answer questions, and that give consumers what they want. As you think about your website, as you think about your SEO strategy, remember, give Google what they want, as in give the customer the answer to the questions that they have. Time on page is a big factor. In other words, how much longer are they staying on the page once they get there? And then that bounce rate should be watched closely. Bounce rate is when somebody gets to your site and then they click back to the search results immediately. If your bounce rate is in the 90 to 100% range, in a perfect world, maybe it's because they used the click to call function and really didn't need to spend much time on your website. But otherwise, you kind of want to reverse engineer your website in a way that people will stay on the page because they're finding the information that they're looking for. Then, of course, as always, the number of citations that you have as a reference of your company's name, address, and phone number, the number of reviews that you have, reviews from your customers in your true service area on major platforms like Google, Yelp, and Angie's List, and making sure you have relevant quality links. Remember, it used to be he who has the most backlinks wins, and now that obviously is not the case anymore. But links still are important. The companies that have the most relevant, quality, authoritative links and have the best and most engaging website with relevant content, these are the concepts that are most important nowadays, as well as the new ranking factors where Google is looking at whether people are staying on the page or clicking through and then scrolling down. The user experience, in other words. At the end of the day, these factors are going to be what determine your fate in Google's world and in the search rankings results. As we drill down into this new SEO formula, the basic tenet will always be figuring out what the most important keywords are in your service area based on the search volume. In other words, what are your customers actually typing in when they are looking for your services? What's the commercial intent behind those terms? If they're searching for a remodeler, there obviously is some commercial intent there. If they search for roof repair, there's commercial intent there as well. If they search for the cost of a new bathroom remodel, there is still some intent because they are thinking about what is a new remodel going to cost me, which could lead them to your website as a future client. So it's more than just the main keyword term. It's more about what we call long tail keywords, which look at the entire ecosystem of keywords surrounding that primary service keyword that you're trying to target, then looking at that search volume for the multitude of keywords around that, and then making sure that you have content that addresses those searches and helps answer people's questions and solve their concern. There are a lot of great tools to figure out what are the most important keywords that you want to target. The most popular being Google's keyword tool that's linked in with their Google AdWords platform. SpyFu is another popular keyword tool. WordStream is pretty good as well. Lots of tools out there that will help you figure out what people are typing when they need home improvement related services like remodeling or roofing. I know this kind of seems obvious, but you want to create a great website with unique content to target those keywords. We've always found, and it's still the case today, is that if you want to have pages for each of the services that you provide and pages for each of the cities that you serve, say for a remodeling company, maybe you have new pages for full home remodels, room additions, kitchen or bath remodeling, maybe basement remodeling, and other similar services that go along with that. So if those are your services, then you want a unique page on your website that talks about that particular service in the context of the main city or the main geographic area that you serve. Most remodeling and construction companies and roofing companies serve around a 50-mile radius or so. So using Denver as an example again, you have Denver itself, Aurora, Broomfield, Centennial, Lakewood, Highlands Ranch, and all these other good-sized cities in the Denver metro area. Now, you're not going to rank on maps for all of those, but you do want to rank in the main city where you operate. But you want to make sure that you have pages on your website for each of those cities, as well as having unique content so that you at least have the opportunity to rank for those different keyword terms. Then obviously we have to optimize for the user experience, UX, that I talked about earlier. We need to optimize the on-page SEO factors as well, which include our title tags, our H1 tags, our meta descriptions, the interlinking between pages on our site, all that fun techie stuff. Then we have to build authority for your brand and for your website. That's where we're building citations, we're building backlinks, and we're essentially trying to show Google that you're a credible and authoritative company in your market. And so then you need to track all these results. We have to be tracking keyword rankings and positioning. We're tracking the on-page SEO factors and how to better optimize them for conversion rate optimization strategies. We're tracking our backlink profiles. We're tracking the velocity of new link development. And all of this is what needs to be done on a consistent basis to really build authority and to win in today's Google SEO world of 2019. So I wanted to give you a head start on this a little bit. Our team has done a lot of research. What we've done is determine the most commonly searched keywords for remodeling companies, for home builders, and for roofing companies. We have other lists, and so if you're a general contractor or maybe you do gutters installation solely, then reach out to us and let us help you. So within remodeling, we have all these different keyword variations. We have home remodeling and home remodeling company and all those types of variations. But then you have all their specialties like kitchen remodeling cost, and then bathroom remodeling, basement remodeling, room additions. There are literally tons of possible variations here. So it really gives you a lot to target in your strategies. When you think about it, there are tons of different keywords that people are typing in, and all of those keywords have varying commercial intent based on what the potential customer is looking for. And so our goal is to rank for all of these keyword variations as well. So the first piece is to understand what all those keyword variations are, and then we can build our content strategy around that. If you want to download the complete list of keywords for services related to remodeling, including more keywords that you don't see listed here, then you can go to homeremodeler.com/remodeling-keywords in order to download the full list. And then from the perspective of a custom home builder, you can see that you have a lot of different variations that center around home builders, design build concepts, and those sort of keyword variations. Remember, there are a lot of different keyword variations that you may not have even thought about that people are typing in. Even when you're talking about the same service, people think about these keywords differently. So if you want to download the complete keyword list for home builders, you can go to homeremodeler.com/homebuilder-keywords. And because a lot of clients that we work with also do residential and/or commercial roofing, I wanted to go ahead and include a keyword list for roofing keywords as well. Same thing applies here, loads of different keyword variations that different folks are typing in to find the services that they're looking for. To grab this list, just go to homeremodeler.com/roofing-keywords. The one thing I want to point out here on these lists is that in front of the keyword, I have your city added in. The idea here is that you're not just trying to rank for that keyword, but you're trying to rank using the keyword plus the city that you're servicing, whether that be your main city or surrounding cities and suburbs that you're trying to rank for. What we're talking about here are geo-modified keywords, which means combining the city that you serve with the services that you provide, and then that is what constitutes the keywords that you are targeting. So you can take my list and then you want to combine it with your own services, and from there you want to map out your own content and keyword targeting strategy, making sure you use both your city and that particular keyword. So by this, I mean making sure that you have all these keywords targeted on your website. You have different pages for the different keywords, and then you can build your authority for these pages so that you're ranking organically for all of these different keywords, or at least trying to rank for as many as you can. I see a couple comments that came in from Daryl, also one from Kelsey. You're welcome for those lists. I just want to make sure that you at least get started out on the right foot as you build your strategies around what are the most important keywords for the services that you offer. Now, once you've thought through the most commonly searched keywords that have the most obvious and highest commercial intent for your business, the next goal is to optimize your website. When I say optimize your website, I'm not just talking about all the technical SEO stuff like keywords, meta titles, meta descriptions, H tags, and so on. What Google really focuses on these days is the user experience. Their goal is to deliver the best content and best user experience to their user base, and thus our goals need to be aligned with that. How do we do that? Well, the first thing is we want to leverage multimedia to improve time on page. So we have pages for each of the different services or subspecialties. So you want to make sure that your title and your meta description are written in a way that it's compelling in a sales kind of way and not just a stuffing the keyword in there a few times kind of way. And then once you get potential customers onto the page, you want to make sure that they stay and have a good experience on your website. You want people engaging on your website, scrolling down, reading content, maybe filling out the estimate request form. And one thing that we found that was great for keeping people on site was through the use of video. From statistics, we know that people are 8 times more likely to watch a video than to sit around and read content, no matter the subject. Plus, people are looking to get a feel for who you are, what your company is about, what your values are, and whether they feel that they will have a good experience working with you. That's what user experience is all about. And as an added bonus, it also helps with your time on page, a metric that Google is monitoring and thus which has an influence on your quality score and where you rank in their rankings algorithm. For most of our client base and those doing stunning renovations and home builds and remodels, the other thing that helps with the user experience is making sure that you have some imagery on your website. And by imagery, I mean pictures of your team, pictures of yourself, pictures of the real people involved in the business, and not stock photos from the internet, but real pictures with real people is what resonates best with potential clients when they are thinking about hiring a service provider that they know, like, and trust. And then, of course, you want to have a robust gallery of your finished work to showcase for all of the potential customers looking at your website. Show them examples of the great work that you're doing and showcase for them your team's design and craftsmanship expertise. Nothing speaks to your company expertise and experience more than a beautiful gallery of previously completed client projects. From there, you want to make sure that you have pages for each of those subspecialties of yours. And then after that, like we talked before, you'll have all of these specialties on each of their own service pages. And you need to decide how many surrounding subcities that you'll want to target. It's not realistic to think that you can target every city and neighborhood around you for 50 or 100 miles. You know, that would kind of be out of control, but you do want to make sure that you have this dialed into your content strategy. And then with that in mind, you create unique content that is well written and focuses on that particular specialty within that particular city. And combined with the image gallery idea that we just talked about earlier, you can also feature a city-specific case studies of a particular project in that city that you're talking about on that page. Again, unique content on every page of your website. Obviously get a high commercial intent keyword in the title tag, the H1 tag, the image alt tags. Get keyword ideas from your keyword list. And you want to make sure to use those keywords in a way that isn't just Denver remodeling, but rather it's something more compelling like top rated remodeling company in Denver, Colorado. So it's written from a keyword focus, but most importantly, it's also written from a sales copy perspective that encourages people to want to click on your listing. And the same thing with the H1 tag, same thing with the content throughout the page and with your meta descriptions, which the importance of those is always up in the air because you hear so many different things, but it's just something that we always do no matter what. But to bring this full circle and back to the new SEO formula and what's working in 2019, it really boils down to conversion rate optimization. You want to get all the techie stuff right here, but the most important thing is paying attention to the user experience and making sure what you're delivering is matching their intent. And then having your name, address, and phone number in the footer along with a Google Map embed and some embedded microdata, or schema as it's called. That all lets Google know that this is your company at this particular address, and all of that matches what is on your Google My Business page as well, and all of those other citations as well as that you've also created. And we'll talk about that next. And then of course, blog on a consistent basis, build your authority, build relevant content to position yourself as the go-to provider in your service area. So we talked about the on-page SEO component. You have to have different pages for your various services and specialties, separate pages for your different cities and service areas. And then there's the technical stuff like title tags, H tags, having unique content throughout your website. And then of course, thinking about the user experience and how the site visitors will view and use your site to find the services that they're looking for. The good news is that you kind of know all this now, and based on everything that we've covered, but the bad news is that on-page SEO is only about 20 to 30% of the work. The other 70 to 80% of the formula is building your authority. In other words, building your relevance, which really comes with off-page SEO optimization. The first thing is you want to make sure that you claim and fully optimize your Google My Business listing. You want to have a lot of citations, which are essentially references to your website that are found out on the internet in the form of online directories and those directory services that you see all across the web like yellowpages.com and citysearch.com, etc. You also want to build up online reviews. Again, focus on the 20% of things that you can do that will drive 80% of the results that really make the difference. For building up your online reviews, there are a lot of great tools for this, including Nearby Now, Bird Eye, and a few others. But don't get hung up on the tool that you use. The key is to make sure that you have consistent follow-up going out after every completed project that asks the customer to take a minute to share their feedback on a public review site for you. When you do that, and when you automate it, you will inevitably build up lots of reviews for your company. The ultimate goal is that you have to build your authority and you have to build links in the form of tons of citations from the other websites across the web. So those are the key things that you need to be doing from an off-page optimization perspective when it comes to your SEO. One aspect that I already covered in a previous training this year is how to get ranked on the Google Maps. In that training, we went in depth on Google Maps and how to get ranked in the Google 3-pack. One of the keys is to claim your Google My Business listing, and you want to make sure that there's consistency in your name, address, and phone number, and that it matches all of the citations and directory listings that you created all across the internet. You want to make sure to get yourself into all the major online directories and concentrate on having consistency of your name, address, and phone number Otherwise, Google will see differing listings as differing businesses. And then, of course, build up your online reviews. Those are the three most important things that you can be doing to help you get ranked in the 3-pack. Feel free to review that Google Maps training on our YouTube channel. You can also go to homeremodellerseo.com/Google-Maps. The other key is to build quality links back to your website. The quantity that you should get, the quality of those backlinks, where to get them from, how to do it, is really a discussion that we can talk about for hours. And by then, most people's eyes will just glaze over as I tend to lose people on this subject. So I'll just keep it brief. The main thing is that you don't want to be buying links from Fiverr, from India, from places like that, or using private blog networks if you've even heard of those. Think about the low-hanging fruit and where you might be able to get the most bang for your buck. So think in terms of association groups that you might be a part of, or other affiliate organizations that maybe you refer business to, or possibly even vendor relationships that you have. This infographic kind of shows you some of those opportunities. So if you're a member of organizations like the Home Builders Association, National Association of Remodelers, a lot of times they have opportunities for you. For instance, they usually have a publicly available directory online with a list of their members. And when you're listed in there, that actually creates a quality backlink for you back to your website. Sometimes they'll also let you submit content for their public blog. Another example is when you have something that's new or innovative, even if it has nothing to do with your specific services. For instance, it's more about how you operate your business. Then if you can get them to interview you or get them to publish an article about you, that's also a great way to build links back to your website. Also, look at the companies that you refer business to. For example, maybe damage restoration companies or plumbing companies or electrical companies. If you refer business to them, then you can potentially have a resource section on your website where you link to them and they link back to you as well. Here, you're essentially saying, hey, here are the quality contractors that we recommend. And basically, you're helping each other as well as helping customers in your community find a great service provider. And in the end, you end up helping each other build more authority online. Obviously, being active on social media like Facebook, Twitter, Google+, and then posting content about your specific services and linking back to those specific pages on your website. These can be great backlink sources for you as well. Same with Pinterest and Instagram, which are both great for showcasing your craftsmanship and completed projects. Those are great tools for selling clients on your services and your expertise. There are a lot of opportunities out there and some low-hanging fruit type of opportunities that are easy to capitalize on. So definitely think about those easy opportunities that you can get links from pointing back to your website. These will all serve to really create authority and credibility for your brand and for your website. One of my favorite strategies is what we call competitive link acquisition, which is looking at the competitors that you are ranking on page 1 or in the #1 spot for the keywords that you are not ranking for. They're ranking there for a reason. They're there because they have a great website with good on-page optimization, and most likely they have some quality links potentially that you don't have. Again, using SEO tools like Ahrefs and Majestic SEO, you can plug in your competitor's website, and then these tools will tell you all of their backlinks, and that allows you to see what links they have that you don't. The downside is that this is a time-consuming process, and there's really no big red easy button to make it a shortcut. But if you invest the time, you can get high quality, highly relevant links one at a time, the same ones that your top competitors have that you don't. Essentially, we teach the method of doing everything that your competitors are doing and then taking it a step or two further. And it's that extra work that will then set you apart from your competitors and eventually have you ranking ahead of them. This is how over time our clients get to the top of the search results. Page one results are what generate the lion's share of the phone calls from online advertising and exposure. And over time, this is how you are able to generate hundreds of calls every single month for your business. So to summarize the new SEO formula in 2019 that is guaranteed to bring you more success online. Set up a website with great pages for each of your services. Create great content with geo-modified keywords. Get those keywords in your title tags, in the H tags. Make sure you have unique content for every page. Make sure you're leveraging multimedia and conversion rate optimization strategies in order to reduce the bounce rate and keep people on your website. Drive online reviews consistently every month. And there are great tools that can automate that review, request, and acquisition process for you. Build citations with consistent NAP. Update content on a consistent basis. Build a lot of high-quality links. And this is where you look at the big picture. Look at the things that might be holding you back and really help you fill in the gaps in your digital marketing strategy, like getting your website right, getting the content dialed in, cleaning up your backlink profile, and ultimately helping you build a really strong foundation that can serve you well into the future. And then, of course, leverage the use of paid search in order to have a diversified marketing strategy. In a couple months, we're going to be doing our next training webinar, just like this one, on how to leverage paid search to maximize your lead flow. Paid search being pay-per-click marketing using Google AdWords. When you're doing both paid search and SEO, you get access to even better keyword data, and that can help you find pockets of highly relevant, high commercial intent keywords that you could be tapping into for even greater results. Hopefully this gave you some good insight and gave you some good information on how do you look at your website, how do you identify what's changing, and how do you make sure you have a great SEO strategy to dominate online going well into the future. I would like to offer you the opportunity to get a free SEO review of your website. And what we'll do with that is we'll do an analysis of your online visibility overall. We'll create a custom list of keywords. In other words, the most important keywords for your particular website and areas that you serve. We'll run a ranking report, and we'll show you exactly where you rank on Google and Yahoo and Bing for your various high target keywords. I like to think in terms of awareness precedes change. You can't change anything or improve anything if you are not aware that things are good or if they're bad. So that's where we really want to start, to just kind of get a sense of where you're ranking for the most important keywords in your service area and in the surrounding cities. If you're ranking well, then great. Maybe then you don't need to think about keywords so much. Maybe it's more about how do you optimize your website for a higher conversion rate. If you're getting plenty of website traffic but not many phone calls, then that's a great opportunity to figure out what's going on with your website and what changes you can make in order to improve your conversions, and ultimately how you can build the authority needed in order to move you to the rankings positions that you need to be in. We'll also do an analysis of the online directories that you're in so that you can see if there's any inconsistency in your NAP that might be holding you back. Also included is an analysis of your online reviews in order to determine if you're staying consistent with your online reputation. Do you have a 5-star reputation built? We'll also look at your social media presence and how well your website is built to convert. We really go deep in this review for you. This is something that takes a lot of time, it takes energy, and so it does really bring a lot of value for you. we're willing to offer it to you completely free of charge. So all you have to do is give us a call at 855-235-9140 or go to homeremodellerseo.com/schedule. We'll get some information about your company, where you're based, and then we'll follow up with you. The only caveat to this is that we only work with one company in each market, in each industry. We've taken the stance that we want to be an exclusive partner for our clients. We really want to give you 110% effort in order to help you dominate your market. It's not that we don't want to help more companies succeed online. It's not that we don't want the opportunity to help you specifically. It's just that we have a lot of clients in major markets, and there's certain markets that are already taken, so we don't want to have a conflict of interest. Thus, we only work with one partner in each city for that particular service. So that's it. Give us a call at 855-235-9140. We would love the opportunity to do a digital marketing review for you and help you identify if there's room for improvement, and see if we're a good fit to work together. Or just go to homeremodellerseo.com/schedule, fill out your details. If your market is already taken, then we'll let you know that right away. If not, we'll do the analysis. We'll sit down with you and we'll show you exactly what's going on. Either things are great or there is indeed room for some improvement. If there is room for improvement, then we'll talk about how we can help. So that's the new SEO formula for 2019. You now have the latest information, the latest changes, our latest strategy on how to really drive your online rankings and your online results. It's been an honor to serve you today. Thank you so much for your time. Let us know how we can help you. Let us know how we can serve you best. And we'll look forward to talking with you soon again in the future.